Alright, so we're going to start this off. This was the, they let it listed as a spot welder. It was technically a rivet press, but this was at my favorite local auction house, and I snagged this guy for $4.55. And what I really wanted was, one, this articulating head, which I saved for another project, and two, is this cast iron base with this column. And I thought, what a just an attractive looking base for something. And I spun it around for a while. It's on casters, which I later removed. But what do I do with it? So started noodling the idea of doing a shop sign, and I went down this whole path. And that's what we're looking at here, is the design in SolidWorks. So you've got the base, and then the large column, the 7-inch diameter column at the bottom, and then through a combination of scraps and materials on hand, I created this shape, this like gas station inspired, like mid-century industrial style. So this is my logo cut out of 1/8 inch acrylic. So send cut send, cut both of these pieces. They have fixturing holes, and they were glued together with a clear acrylic adhesive, just like the Bugle's Pontiac sign from many weeks ago. So looking at this a little closer, this is the biggest size they could, send cut send can cut out of acrylic, or at least the biggest size they list. So I have a layer of white and a layer of black, and if I hide those, then I have a center in the, what's shown in yellow here is like a center plane, so that I can mount a light facing out on each side. So it's the whole thing is basically symmetrical. So we've got 3 laser cut pieces of mild steel, and then this loop was rolled on my used slip roll. So rolled this out of a piece of 14 gauge, put 2 beads in it, and then completely seal welded it all the way around to create the sign. Just digging into that just a little bit more. So here is the loop. You can see the continuous welding on the outer flange, and then it's just C-clamped in place. I was basically leveling the laser cut holes for the bolt pattern because that aligns the light base to the column, to the bolt pattern, to the acrylic pieces. So you can see the various layers welded, the pipe, the solid bar stock. Snapshot. I did add these, so this will be hours and then phone number. I don't know, something about the floaty signs. The sign is just over 8 feet tall. This is the cast iron base. I'll show a picture of the, ignore the blemish there, don't look at that. I got it roughly leveled. It may not live here forever. That's a sheet of ABS, and then the concrete block for the edging. Power is UF coming up to the box, and then I have weatherproof conduit coming over, and then this is a 3D printed adapter to go to 1/2 inch stainless. So the 1/2 inch stainless line bent to swoop up, and then again a 3D printed adapter that's bolted in from the inside. So I've got the wiring run through that. That was a little tight to get the wires, 3 14 gauge wires through the pole. Drilled and tapped here. This is the 1x2 box tube capped on the ends. So in hindsight, I wish I would have ran the wires through the base, but this chunk is solid bar. So I would have had to do a lot of drilling, and yeah, this is kind of exactly how I had imagined it. So very nice. At night, and the phone doesn't like it because it's so bright, but definitely lights up the area in front of the shop a little bit, which is cool. And I've got it set up on a timer. So I put a digital timer inside under the panel that runs this guy. So it runs from like 5 to 11 every night. So I get to see it when I come out and work in the evenings. Pretty good stuff. All right, so this one's kind of fun. So I have a problem where I'm leaving the air compressor on, which is fine, but when I leave the ball valve that I'm pointing at in the earlier video here, but when I leave the ball valve on, that leaves everything pressurized. So you've got 10 quick connects, the power drawbar on the bridge port. There's a lot of air couplings and a lot of things. So there's a few leaks here and there. None of them substantial, but it will cause the thing to run every, I think, 4 hours or so, even if you're not consuming air. So not the end of the world, but I'd like to have a visual reminder that I turned the air off before I leave. And no wires, no batteries, no anything like that. I wanted something very simple. So it came back to a 3-way like limit switch style valve that I have shown here. What I came up with was something very like mid-century industrial. I find myself really fascinated by like 50s service station, gas station sign stuff. Definitely inspired the shop sign, and it inspired this. So this is all based on a very small air cylinder. And if I could show it correctly, let's see. Let's get into the part here. So a lot of this was modeled around, McMaster provides the CAD models for a lot of their parts. So I picked an air cylinder with an 1.5-inch stroke, 1032 connection here. So this is pretty tiny. This is a 1/2-inch diameter on the body. So this whole 3D print that says air is 8.5. The assembly for just a moment. So you got a few different pieces going on here. The blue is the mounting bracket that goes on the wall. And then the red, I printed that as a separate piece just to minimize tool changes. I actually didn't have red, I printed it in orange, which is fine. The green is the actual sliding piece, and then the letters A, I, and R, those are separate pieces. I keep forgetting which part I'm in. A, I, and R are separate pieces just to make the printing easier. They were printed flat with the pins up and then pressed in with a little bit of super glue. So anyway, getting back to it, the purpose of this guy is that when the air is on, like when I turn the valve at the compressor, this pops up, shows that it's green, so I put it by the man door, and if I'm leaving and the green light is on, then I knew I forgot to turn the air off. The reason you need that 3-way valve is because the air lines, even though they leak, like I said, it takes 4 hours to bleed down, so you need something that relieves the pressure instantly. And as soon as you take the pressure away on the 3-way valve, it bleeds off the air cylinder. So that was pretty fun. I ended up making a 3D printed stand to hold that valve in the correct position, and then the knob, I printed a cover that goes over the steel handle of the knob. The knob got, well, I guess the lever got drilled, machine screws ran into the plastic, and then this wing is what actuates the valve. So I'm gonna jump out of this and we'll do a quick demo. All right, so I'm at my compressor. I've got it turned on because I basically keep it on all the time. And everything up to this valve is on and pressurized. This is the real 3D print, and I've got the pressure switch here. So it's getting air from before the valve, and then this 1/8-inch line is going all the way up and over there. So right now we're perpendicular, we're off, and that's a stiff valve. Now that we're on, the switch is depressed, and yeah. So I've got the other camera over there, and you'll see the valve go, and now we're gonna go down, and we're off. Yep. I almost don't want to have proof that this happened, but all right, now what? I got it off the truck. It was a little sketchy. It was a lot sketchy, but this big boy's down, and Got some of the safety equipment out of it, so I can open it up now. I've got some holes to fill. Probably just print some covers for now, and then maybe if I got a little time on my hands, I'll grind these out and weld in some blanks. The Acme sign is staying, and I think this guy's going to get painted up, but it's hard to see right now. Fuel tanks do fit nicely, and get some shelves put in here. It has some stiffening stuff in the back, and then on the unlikely chance that this thing could be tipped over, I'm going to put an anchor up to the wall. So yeah, good stuff. So one of my goals this week was to get the Bonneville, the 421 out of the Bonneville, separated from the transmission and get it on an engine stand. And similarly, I have a smaller stand that I want to put the transmission on. It'll make it easy to flip it over to do the gaskets, the filter, and just gets it up at a nice comfortable working height so I can go through as much as is needed on it. I'm told it was driving good, so and the fluid that came out of the transmission confirms that, so unless I see anything that raises an eyebrow, we should be good to go. Similarly with the motor, the oil that came out of it looked pristine, and all indications are that everything's happy. We're going to do some tests once it's on a stand. That's complicated a little bit. I didn't realize that on these, if you look, the plate on the motor, the flex plate, does not have a ring gear, so the motor is, the starter attaches to the motor, but the ring gear is actually on the torque converter, which is a little different. I think Chrysler did it this way, and this is before the standardization at GM, so no big deal. We can work around it. Yeah. So quick cleanup here, and similarly getting the transmission up. I'm using my little hydraulic cart. That thing comes in handy all the time. And thank you to Robbie for donating his old engine stand that's now my transmission stand. So this is the predecessor to the Turbo 400. This is a hydromatic transmission. So I know very little about these, but the basic architecture looks very similar, so we shouldn't have any problem putting seals in it and cleaning it. It's really all the plan is for this one. Really quick update on this one. So I've got the motor on the stand, got it soaking with degreaser. Gaskets are on the way, but pretty soon I'm going to pull the valve covers, the timing cover, pan, get those clean. Probably pop some of these brackets off, get it all degreased, and then mask it off and get it sprayed. But quite a bit more prep work there. Cap manifolds are going to get blasted. All the bolts came out except one so far. So I got one to drill out, and then two more that I need to get soaking so I can try and get these guys out. Probably cut those off flush so there's no threads sticking out, and then put a little heat on them so I have my best chance of getting them out. Yeah. Those are going to clean up nice. Trans is cleaning up pretty well. First round of degreasing and cleaning. Got most of the oil off of it, so one more round, and then, yeah, it's going to clean up good. So the shop sign is a project that I've been really excited to share. It's really cool that the project was sparked by a $5 auction purchase that snowballed into what I think is a pretty awesome end result. So if you enjoy projects like this, I have an array of things that I'm working on and new stuff all the time. So please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you liked or what you didn't like. I'm a little frustrated with myself for all the vertical video. Damn it, I will do better about that. But that's it for now. Thanks. I'll see you guys next week.